Hey Eddie, so today I'm going to look at your Vod versus Widdersham, and it was a very interesting Vod. I had a lot of fun combing through it while I was in Italy, and it pointed out to me a few things that you could apply to your game right now. Now, as well as that, this is a perfect opportunity for me to kind of look at how you can use neutral B and side B in neutral for kind of like similar answers but for different use cases, right? And in this matchup, and in a lot of matchups that involve zoning, I would say that side B is your best tool. In other matchups, I would say neutral B, but we'll look at how it works, right? So let's get into this. So, game one, we start with a relatively slow start. You were playing it safe, you throw out the gun here, you dash back in, giving a little bit too much stage, I would say. In general, don't try to dash back too hard, because the more you dash back into the corner is the weaker that whiff punishing is going to get, and the stronger the opponent's advantage is going to get. So I would say try to stick around here. Especially being under a platform is really strong, because then landed aerials are weaker on you, right? But don't give up too much space, right? Unless you really need to. Alright, so you throw out these nairs. I think this is kind of like you could punish them running out with a nair underwards, I think, but you fast fall a little bit too early. But either way, whiffing those moves just is pretty non-committal because you're Joker and you have really low whiff lag, right? Now, here's something I'm going to comment about, is that back air there doesn't do a lot, right? Since you're in the air and you're both at 0%, hitting the back air here isn't going to net you any reward, nor is it really going to combo into anything, right? At best, it's going to set up into a call-out situation where you call out their attack or something like that, right? So here, in this scenario, I would say instead try look for an up air or something else that can net a higher reward, you know? So here I would say, even after the dash back in the nair, you force them to jump, go for an up air, right? If you're going to call out this jump, because that means you can do a drag down into a grab, or you do an up air, then you do fast fall, and then you reset into a juggle situation, right? So in any case, you get the up air here, right? The up tilt here. You get the up air, you do a drag down. I think you might have dragged down a little too early, and then you kind of dashed in, right? This was a really good opportunity for you to see what he was going to do and then dash in for the grab, right? In general, I would say that if you're in this sort of situation, right, where maybe it wasn't really that reactable, I would say the safest thing to do is to dash in, right? Because you get the up tilt, you get the up air, you get the situation where you can't do a true combo, dash in. Right? So with this, you're countering a few different strategies, right? If Nick does a fast fall nair, you get to whiff punish it, right? If Nick does a jump like here, you get to whiff punish it with dash back up air. And if Nick does nothing, you get the stage control, right? So I would say that dash back in is the safest option here, especially because in case of a big blunder, like this air dodge, you could have gone in for a dash grab, right? And that's another thing, is you should use a bit more grab. And then you kind of did this nair here that didn't really cover a lot. I feel like maybe you kind of autopiloting there, and that just comes with time. Eventually, the more you play, the more you recognize when a situation's over. This sort of thing is called refresh rate. Don't worry too much about it. It's not really a thing you can like apply immediately, because it's kind of a thing you only get from playing a lot, right? Refresh rate essentially means that players who have played a lot can tell that they've lost this, and they can immediately readjust, right? Since you're relatively new, you aren't quick enough to get the readjusting rate, but eventually with time you'll find what works, what doesn't, and while you're doing that up air, you could recognize that it was going to fail, right? But in any case, you reset neutral here, you jump here, you burn your double jump here, which kind of meant that you had no mix falling down, which meant that he was going to side B. In general, try not to commit too hard to double jumps versus zoners, because they can punish you really hard, right? So he gets the side B, gets the forward air, you jump in again, which means he's going to punish you again. You've got no jump, you reset back to the platform, and thankfully he doesn't manage to extend too hard of it. You get the back air, which I think could have been comboed into grab. Let's just check again. I'm a huge fan of back air grab, and I just want to see if you could have done it. So back air, maybe not, but I think you should have gone for a tech chase. Just dash in, reacted to what he was going to do. But that down tilt there was actually really good, because if he did any other tech option, you would have hit, right? So I like that you went for the down tilt. In any case, he resets, you get the nair, but you go for a side B, which I'm really not sure about. I mean, it does hit, and you do get a decent amount off it, but I feel like this only would have been worth if you had Arsene side B, right? So I think what I'm going to talk about a lot in this VOD review is kind of scaling your game plan, right? So when you hit at low percent, you should be looking for a combo starter, right? And your combo starters are massive at low percent, right? You've got back air, you've got nair, you've got forward air 1, which you shouldn't really use at low percent, but regardless, you've got dare, you've got a tech situation like F tilts. You've got a lot of starters basically, right? And especially grab, right? So when you hit this nair, you should have immediately done a dash grab, right? Now the side B was like, it did true combo, but it's kind of one of those things where it only would have been good if there was a platform or if you had Arsene, right? Then you would have scaled a lot of damage. If you did nair into dash grab, down throw, back air, forward air, whatever, you would have netted a lot of reward and you would have been in advantage state, right? But either way, this was a good opening and good stuff. Alright, so good anti-airing with the nair. I see that you're applying the hitting where they're going to be. This is really good stuff. But again, you don't like extend off that. You know what I mean? So you're hitting the nairs here, which is really good. Like here, bomb, nair, should have been a grab. He double jumps, you hit another nair, this could have been a back air, right? Or you could have dash shielded and punished him doing a nair. So in general, I'm kind of, I guess I'm kind of looking for you to extend off your combos a little bit more. But regardless, okay, so you do an air dodge here. Nice. Okay, you've got Arsene. You get a poke out here. You've got bomb. This is fine. Kind of down smashing here for no reason. I think you should be looking for a bit more up airs here because he's kind of jumping over you. Throw at the back here. Got the F tilt. Could have been maybe like a up tilt or something or an up smash. You get the up tilt here. Let's see what you do. Walling a bit too harshly with forward air here, but okay, you could have. I think this was back air here because it would have been less punishable. Anyway, okay, here's a situation. Okay, so here you had the advantage state after you hit this up tilt, right? So I think what you should have done is you jumped here, which limits your options, right? Because you don't have a dash, right? So you're jumping here. The only real thing you can do is drift slowly down to here. If you did a dash and then a jump, just follow my cursor, right? If you did dash, jump, you would have been able to pressure landing on the platform and catching the two options that he's going to do, right? This jump kind of limits you because as we can see, the only thing you can do is land back down, right? So if you did dash, jump over here, saw him whiffing the forward air, you could have landed on the platform and done a dash attack, or maybe you could have done, like, instead of doing just a dash jump, you could have done a dash jump IRA, so then you got like a back air to come, slingshot I'll say. So you got a back air to pressure here, right? Which would have definitely gone on the stock. Instead, you went for a forward air, which is a little late in my opinion, but I like the idea that you were trying to cover him on the platform. This is showing really good, thinking about hitting them in the future, right? So keep on doing that, but kind of think about using your movement a little differently here. Right over here, I would have done a slingshot. I'm assuming you know what a slingshot is, but basically, you dash forward, then you flick back, and then you're suddenly moving forward while facing backwards, right? And what it would have done is it would have opened you up to doing a back air here. Regardless, another thing I'm going to say is just hold shield against this jab. We can quickly go and link frame data right here, and we can find that jab is probably like minus 20 something. Yeah, minus 23. You can up smash that. Don't worry about it. Basically, I would say is with these options, I'm sorry that the background is very loud, but with these like high-end leg options, just wait a little bit and then you can get an up smash. Right over here, I think you might have been able to kill if you waited a little bit longer, but instead you looked for a jump out. In any case, nice pressuring of the ledge. You've got the gun out here, which is pretty good. I like using the gun there. You're jumping a little bit back with the back airs. I think you should be jumping forward with the back airs because Nick, as a zoner, isn't going to look to approach, right? So you kind of need to approach a little bit more with the backers, I think. The landing backers, at least. In any case, nice dodging around this neutral B. Nice finding of the back air there. That was fantastic. How did you get that? So, okay, so you did those things, which I don't really agree with. But then, he does a side B. He does a jump here. He throws that out. You whiff punish the next option. You outspace his nair, and you get the back air. Fantastic. Good stuff. Now, let's see your advantage state here. So, with Link advantage state, this is kind of rough. You just kind of need to hold center stage a little bit more and pressure where he's going to be. We'll see if there's any more options for that. Okay, here, just jump. So, there's a few punishes you can get here. So, Link up smash is really unsafe on shield. So, there's two options that you can go for here. Let's see. If you're facing him, let's see, minus 28. You could do a fast forward air, right? And then you could do up air, drag down, up smash if you want it to be fancy, right? I mean, it's not that fancy. It's a really good option, but still, right? Another thing you could do is you could do run off back air, or if you're facing away from him, you just do shield drop back air. But if you want to do the absolute safest thing, just jump. Just jump out of this and you'll be completely fine, and don't worry about it. In fact, if you jump out of this earlier, you could do a back air afterwards and hit him. But that could sort of like dropping shield kind of blundered, and it kind of lost you a lot of momentum. In any case. Okay, looking for the nairs. I like that you're covering the platforms a lot. This is really good. Okay. He's getting the grab on you, calling out the shield. You got the dash tag there, very good. Playing a little bit too conservative on the ledge here. You could be, especially here. You gave up a lot of stage positioning here. Right here, I would say play around here and look for a back air, right? Especially if he's going to jump. So, whiffing a little bit too much here, I think. Try play a little bit more reactive here. Again, right here, you could have just waited for the shield and then gone for an up smash. Right here, you should be doing down gun. Just press B and hold down, and that means that when you fast fall, it's pretty much uncontestable, right? I might need to show you, because I feel like it's kind of hard to get otherwise, but yeah. Nice landing on the ledge. And then you got clipped by the forward air. How did you get clipped by the forward air there? Should be, yeah, and then he kind of threw it out there. You were playing a bit too aggressive on the ledge there. I think you could have played a little bit slower there, but no worries. Okay, could have gone for a grab there. I think you're kind of doing too many options right now. When I was talking about, like, people call this mashing, but, it's not negative, right? It just means that you're covering wrong options, right? So right here, you're throwing out aerials. You're really hoping he approaches, but he doesn't have to approach, right? He's Link. A lot of the time, he's not going to approach, right? He's going to wait for you to approach, right? So if you throwing out these moves kind of gives him the win condition that he wants of you whiffing something so he can punish it. All right. You're going to pedal him with gun a little bit. You got the back air here. Lovely. Let's see what the punish is here. Okay. I like that you went for gun. I don't like that you did it the way you did it because... Let's see here. So there's a few things. So you could have gone for an edge guard here, I think, which is just jump and then kind of following my cursor, you do a full hop, you wait for him to do something, and then you do a back air, right? But another thing you could have done is with this gun, if you're going to hit him, he's going to send him that way, right? So you should have faced gun this way. Or actually, no, I think it sends out maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check that, right? But in general, try to hit them facing that way so they get sent the other way. Also, I think if you hit him there, you would have made him live. So just kind of find when a person's dead and when a person's not from these edge guard situations. Anyway, you've got revenge. Arsene. Let's see what you can do with it. Again, playing a little bit too conservative. I like your use of side B here. Side B is really good in this matchup. Getting the nair. Again, I think you should be looking for these grabs a little bit more. Also, you need to be dash shielding. I feel like I'm not seeing you dash shield a lot, which means that you're opening yourself up to a lot of punishes. Dash shielding is holding forward with the analog stick and holding shield. It sounds simple, but the reason why you have to hold forward and then shield is that that's the earliest time you get shield. If you do a flick and then shield, you're not going to get it, right? So if you're doing dash shield here, you're making yourself a little bit more safe, especially because Joker is really fast, right? Instead, I feel like you're kind of in this jump range where you're always getting punished. You got the forward air there. Don't try to land with forward air. It's kind of a bad move to land with. Try to always land with nair or down air if you're going to land. All right, that's game one done. Let's get into game two. Alright, so again, landing forward air. I feel like it's not that good, especially at low percent, and I feel like landing nair and landing back air are better at this low percent because you can get a really good combo. Again here, right, so you find the down air, which is really good. I really like that you find the down air, but unfortunately you just do F tilt, right? I feel like right here, you could have gotten a grab, right? You could have done down throw, back air, something like that, right? And I feel like you're not really applying those right now because they're really strong, right? Again, up air there earlier would have been better. I feel like you're doing attacks, you're whiffing a bit too many attacks right now, which is meaning that you're not getting a lot of stage positioning, right? So let's just count them, right? So you did a nair, right? Then you immediately did an up air, and then you immediately did a back air, right? You could have spent this doing a dash and shield here, and then punishing his landing here. I feel like you're full hopping a bit too much. Sorry, short hopping a bit too much there. Again, nair, grab would have been a really good combo. Yep, so you did a nair, and then you immediately did the F tilt. I feel like you just need to react to these combos a little bit more, and landing with a forward air there, in my opinion, is just not really a good thing to do, unless you have Arsene. Okay, got the down smash, you caught something that he was doing, that's not bad. You dash back in, I feel like you could be playing a little bit more aggressively right now. Get hit by bomb, managed to live, you're probably going to roll, nice. Okay, you're playing a little bit more conservative again. You get wolf punish there, try not to throw out too many moves when you're in this sort of result, especially side B. Side B is very laggy. Okay, could be using a bit more back air here. Try to do the landing forward air. Getting the nair here. Could have gone for an up air or back air again, but then the side B instead. Like, I like the option coverage, but if he jumps in, you're going to get owned, right? So I feel like dash shield is something that you really need to be using. And you get hit. Alright, so you get the back air here. You get the jab. You punish that. Oh, could have held shield again. Then you got on a quick punish. Oh, and then you get punished there. A quick trick you can do is do up B and then shield, and then you'll do a tech option select, which basically means that whether or not you get hit, you're going to do a tech. Well, I mean, if you get hit, you're going to do a tech. If you don't, you're just going to up B. Nice down smash. Again, you're jumping in, right? Just dash shield, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're not using dash shield enough because you're always jumping in, which means that you're vulnerable in the air. Jumping in is really good, but it's only really good if you also can dash shield, right? Otherwise, you're going to get punished a lot, right? So, like we're seeing here. So I think definitely if there's one takeaway you take here, dash shield, dash shield. Joker's out of shield is one of the best in the game in my opinion, because if they cross you up, you can do a back air, and if they land on shield in front of you, you can do a grab, right? So just dash shield a little bit more, I would say. Could have done landing there in my opinion, but good thing regardless. Getting the up tilt here, could have gone for an up air there I think, but regardless. Back air, side B, weaving through nicely, getting the up tilt into the forward air, using a little bit too much side B, I think, because side B is really laggy, right? I feel like you should be using it a little bit less, but like, you know, you should be using it, but just a little bit less, or not like this, right? You should use side B when they're zoning you out a lot and you want to reset it, because side B comes at a really high angle, right? Which means that a lot of projectiles aren't going to hit it, and you can actually anti-air a lot with it, right? So don't use it just because you want to use it because you want to use it for a purpose, which is to zone break. Alright, you got the F tilt here, you threw out the side B, you could have gotten the back of there, it would have been so good, but unfortunately you didn't. I feel like you're giving up a bit too many ledge traps here. Again, jumping in a little bit too much, you could have done a dash shield, or you could have jumped in with nair. Instead you did an empty hop. Tried to go for the down smash there. I see what you meant by the down smash habit, that can get pretty juicy sometimes. Alright, you got the forward air here. Look for back airs, look for back airs, look for back airs. A little bit too conservative, you know what I mean? Alright, side being here. Dash shield, instead you get clipped there. You know what? You see what I mean, right? So just try look for dash shields a little bit more, because with these jumps you're giving up a bit too much and he's calling you out for it. You know what I mean? And also use a little bit more grab. I'm not seeing a lot of grab here, which is unfortunate. Dash shield there would have punished that. Back here there, unfortunately just missed, and you lose the game. Alright, so there's a lot we've learned from this, right? So, I'm gonna TLDR a lot of it, right? And I'm just gonna let, like, the stream play. So, if there's 3 things that you need to... So, I'll bring up a notebook, actually. Notes. Okay, so what are the 3 things you need to do, right? Let's count them out, right? So you've got this. Let's see if I can actually There we go. Okay, so one thing, first and foremost, I think the biggest thing is you need to dash shield more, right? So let's see what this dash shield SSBU. I wonder if there's any cellular frames. This probably explains it. I'm gonna link this in the bottom of this video, right? So dash shield is really important because it means that you dash, you shield. If any attack they throw out gets shielded, you can punish them with an out of shield, right? Especially grab. Which brings me on to my next thing, grab more, right? I feel like, so you need to be dash shielding to get more grabs, right? Or, you need to be hitting a nair, right? So there's a few ways you can get grab, right? But I feel like you need to look for it a little bit more. So the main ways you can get a grab are from nair, grab, shield into whiff punish grab, or you get it when the opponent's at ledge. So let's talk about dash shielding first, right? Okay, so with dash shielding, you're gonna be less vulnerable, right, than doing a jumper, right? So there's different reasons why you do different things. Dash shielding isn't explicitly better than jumping, but only doing dash shielding or only doing jumping is worse than just having a split of two, right? So what I would say is Joker's got really good landing aerials, right? So when you're going to do a jump in, make sure you're using it with like a landing nair, right? If your opponent is going to call out your jump, make sure you're doing dash shield, right? I don't know. There's not a lot I can say on this because dash shielding is just a really important mechanic to do, right? And I guess just shielding in general, which I feel like you're not doing well. I don't want to say you're not shielding enough because that's really a detrimental thing to say sometimes, but I do feel like you're not utilizing shield as much as you could. The stats of shield is that shield is frame 1, right? Which means that it's your fastest option to be safe. Frame about, I would say, maybe like 12 for Joker out of a dash, right? Which means that you can move with an invulnerable move, kind of, because in frame 12 you get shield. And also it means that it forces a grab, right? And anything that's not a grab can be punished if you've got the right options for it, right? So you need to utilize shield a little bit more as a defensive option, and especially as out of a movement option, such as a dash or even like an empty hop or something like that, right? I just want to see you using shield, but especially shield punishes a little bit more. Because what's another thing you can get out of shield? You can get up smash. Now up smash is a really good out of shield option because if we go on here, Joker.php, and, oops, what the hell? Joker.php, there we go. Okay, so we look at up smash and it is frame 10 out of shield, right? You can punish so many attacks with up smash and it's going to kill super early, right? So I want to see you doing a little bit more up smashes out of shield. If they cross you up, which just means that they land on the back of your shield, do a back air out of shield, If they land in front of you, grab out of shield. If they land in front of you and they're high percent, up smash out of shield, right? This should be your core shield gameplay, and I want you to work on it a little bit more. Alright, so moving away from dash shield, we're going to look at extending off of nair, because I think that's a big one you need to do. Or actually just extending off of combos in general. So at low percent, right, your main combos starters are going to be back air, nair, grab, and let's say, what else could be a really good? No, that's about it. Those are like your main combo starters, right? If you land them, right? Not to say that you can't get out the combos, right? But you should be looking for these combo starters a bit more, but also you should be extending the moment you get these combo starters, right? The moment you hit a nair and you've landed with it, go for a grab. Instantly go for a grab. Don't look for F-tilt, because F-tilt's not going to reward you a lot, and don't look for side B, because that's not going to reward you a lot either. Look for grab. At high percent or mid percent, you can start looking for dash attack, which is also really good, but grab into down throw. At 0%, combos into fair and then fast fall dash attack. And at anything higher, combos into back air. And then at mid percents, it combos into up air, right? So you can do like an up air drag down, right? It's important to note that back air kind of falls off at 60%, but a lot of people DI in anyway, and you can get a cheeky kill off it, right? So use more grab, especially after you hit a combo starter, right? The moment you hit a combo starter at 0%, literally just look for a grab. Like if you land a back air, look for a grab. If you land an air, look for a grab. If you hit them and they're in the air, try to shield and punish them mashing, and then go for a grab. Grab. That's what I want you to look for, right? Obviously, this can turn into a bad habit, right? But what I want you to do is extend off of your advantage state a little bit more, right? So what I want you to do is go into practice tool, hit a nair, and then grab, right? And then practice doing nair, grab, back air, and do it on both sides, right? I want you to practice those combos until you get really comfortable with just comboing the hell out of a bomb, right? And and that means that the more you can press your advantage state like that, the scarier your neutral is going to be, right? So now that we've covered back air, right, and the sort of combos at low percent, right, I want you to think about advantage state, right? So let's talk about ledge trapping and edge guarding. Okay, so these two concepts are pretty advanced, honestly. Like, you get to a level of the metagame where you kind of start thinking about, different things, right? So, not different things. You kind of start talking about more, how do you say it? Like, mental things, right? Like ledge trapping and edge guarding, it's not something you really see, it's something you do, right? I mean, you do see it, but it's not something that like you can instantly apply, right? It's a whole state of the game by itself, right? And that's how I want you to think about it, right? When you get someone off stage, make sure you're thinking about ledge trapping and edge guarding, right? So let's just run through the characters in Wellington, right? You've got Link. A lot of the time, you're not actually going to be ledge trapping Link, or at least you're not going to be like shield ledge trapping, right? You're going to be kind of looking for him to do the side B up, and then the bomb recovery up, and then you punish what he does afterwards. But if he grabs the ledge, then you can also punish him doing something that I saw you not really using a lot, and I think we'll be able to see if we just search up an MKLeo Joker set, is that you're not shielding enough on ledge, or you're just not playing around the ledge enough, I don't think. So let's kind of find a ledge trap here and see what we can do with it, right? Another thing is that Joker's edge guarding is really good, and I feel like you're not using enough of that either with like back air and stuff. But it's actually kind of hard to get really good at that sort of stuff, right? So in any case, let's jump into the set, and I won't spend too long on this, but I'll quickly see how MKLeo punishes advantage state, right? So let's see. So he's thrown out stuff. Okay, here we go. Look at this. He's going out, right? And he's pressuring because he knows he can do it, right? He doesn't get too much off it, right? But he's going out, right? So let's see him in another scenario, right? Let's see. I want him to hit him out again. Let's see. Where does he hit him out? Hit him out. Okay, so he runs in and he's pressuring the ledge already, right? Now he's in the corner. He's not in your games. You were jumping back, right? And you were immediately resetting to stage, which means that they can regain stage a lot easier, right? MKLeo being here, they cannot get the stage without being dead, right? So look at this. He kind of dashes in, dashes back, looking for him to do something, right? He's back on the ledge once again, right? He's constantly pressuring where Goblin is, and then he is playing around this distance. Now, if MKLeo recognized it earlier, he could have gotten the back air there, right? But regardless, this is how you should be playing ledge trapping. Alright, let's see if we get another ledge trap scenario. Alright, so he gets the forward air there. He's pressuring again, he's jumping off, he's doing down gun, he plays around here, and then he gets the back air here. This is ledge trapping, right? Ledge trapping doesn't mean that you're just true punishing the option they're doing off of the ledge. It just means that you're constantly hitting them off of ledge, right? And you're covering as many options as possible, right? So he's edge guarding here, this is really good, that down air was unnecessary, he was dead anyway, right? Let's see if we get another ledge trap scenario. Also, another thing is ledge traps don't always have to kill. Sometimes you can just focus on racking up damage, right? Like right here, he's constantly throwing out an attack, right? He's trying to catch Goblin doing something, and I feel like if you were here, you would be jumping into center stage, right? So make sure you're pressuring the ledge with back airs, right? Especially because that means that a goblin is going to get more scared and more scared as the set goes on. Alright, so let's continue into here. What can we find? Let's see, up air. I want to see another ledge trapping. Okay, he goes back here. He got hit out of here. He's throwing a little bit near this right, which is the good thing to do. You were doing that as well. Really nice to see you do that. He's got the near here. He does the down throw here. He gets the up throw here. He's following them jumping, right? And especially he's jumping in, right? And setting himself up with the back air, which you need to do a little bit more as well. So he's throwing it back continually. He's trying to push his advantage there. He gets the down air into the up smash. That's a really safe confirm, right? And it's really good. So let's see if we can get another ledge trapping here. I'd really like to see another one. At least one more, and then we'll stop the set. Come on. Okay, he just SD'd. Let's go. Going into the grab. Okay, here's an actual example. So you got the back into the dash attack because that's all he could have gone there. But here, nair, grab. Tried to go for nair for the take chase, but he could have gone for a grab. And then he gets the up air, grab. Look at how many times he's using grab, right? And then right here, he does shield, nair. And then he gets the grab here, right? This is a really good edge guard, ledge trap. Just holding shield here, like here, means that you cover so many options, right? If he get up attacks, you can reaction punish and just do shield grab, right? Or an up smash. If he jumps, you cover it with nair, like he does here. And if he does a neutral get up, you reaction grab it, right? And then if he rolls here, you try reaction punish it or whatever, right? Most people tend to do this setup, but just doing it at roll distance so they can cover a little bit more. But he's opting to do the shield grab here anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about ledge trapping. The way you can practice this is you can go into training tool, hit the opponent off the stage, right? Hold shield, and when the bot comes up to recover and they do a neutral grab, just grab, right? And reaction grab. Make sure you're grabbing them the moment they get up, as in like the moment. Because neutral get ups have 1 frame of vulnerability, right? So to get the grab true, you've got like kind of a 3 frame window because grab goes through the first 2 frames of spot dodge, obviously, and goes through through shield. So yeah, I'd like to see you going for a little bit more ledge traps. But obviously this is a lot to keep in mind, right? And I might be speeding through this, so if you're finding this a little bit too confusing, just watch a Joker set, an MKLeo Joker set, and see how he ledge traps, and see how he's killing here. He's not killing off of neutral a lot, right? Or he's not killing, off of like a confirm. He's looking for these ledge trap scenarios into a edge guard, or racking up this percent until he can kill off of neutral. Alright, so we've covered dash shielding, we've covered grabbing, we've covered smash attacks, options out of shield that you should be doing, and we've covered the advantage set stuff that you need to be working a little bit more on. Another thing that I want you to do is conserving your double jump. Versus zoners, the only time you should be using, or in general, the only time you should be using double jump to kind of punish the opponent, against the opponent, when both of you have equal stage positioning, is if you're baiting them into punishing you landing an option, right? Landing an aerial. So a lot of the time people do like jump, try landing near their opponent and then jumping on their shield, right? And then their opponent will do like an immediate shield grab, right? And that means that you can punish them with like a down air or something like that, right? So what I would say is try conserve your double jump a little bit more, especially in versus characters like Link, who can use side B to force you to jump. Anyway, closing out this VOD review, I'm going to answer this question about side B versus gun. So I would say in general, using gun, like the sideways gun, just like this, in neutral, where is it? Using neutral gun, just like this, or like in the air, which I don't know where it is, but whatever. Like this in the air, this gun isn't usually the best, right? You only really do this if your opponent's playing super lame. The guns that you should be using are this, gun jump. Gun jump is ridiculously good because it means that the opponent literally just can't contest you and they have to call you out that you're going to do a jump, right? You should be using gun. So the way you do this is you just do gun, so neutral B, hold neutral B, and then do jump. This way that you can break the zone really fast and you can literally jump over people's heads. Another gun you should be using is, let's see, gun landing, which is a really important thing to do. And if you want to use gun the way that you suggested here to kind of like break the zone, or not break the zone, but force an approach, instead I would say use side B, because side B, as we can see here, the angle is really brutal, right? Like, look at this angle, right? It starts from the top and it goes all the way at the bottom, especially here. This is like a disjoint because of how he positions himself. So if you want to force an approach, use side B. If you want to punish people playing lame, use neutral B. If you want to punish people playing lame while maintaining pressure, use side B. But if you want to punish people playing in the corner, but you also want to mitigate the amount of time you can be hit, use neutral B. Because the one problem about side B is that it's got 25 frames of end lag, and neutral B has 17 frames of end lag, right? So in general, it's safer to use neutral B, and it's more committal to use side B. But in any case, this has been a massive VOD review, right? So don't get too stressed out. I think if there's anything you take away from this is practice your advantage state. Practice using dash shielding. Even if you just go into practice tool and you just do dash shield, just practice doing that over and over again until you get really fluent at using your shield offensively, right? Another thing I want you to do is combo off of your nair, back air, up air, whatever, into grab. Use a little bit more grab, because right now opponents can kind of shield against you for free. In any case, this has been a Zinger VOD review. I hope you got a lot of stuff out of it. If there's anything you want me to clarify again, let me know. I'm not the best when it comes to helping new players, because sometimes I just want them to do what I want them to do, right? So what I want you to tell me is tell me stuff that you want to get better at, right? Because then the stuff that you want to get better at makes you a better player, because it's already stuff that you recognize you need to be better at, right? But these are just the stuffs that I would suggest that you get better at. In any case, see ya.